Will you learn? So the study pace. So what we have found, and what we did a survey of around about 150 teachers or students on the course, IPGC course, around about a month ago, and what we found is that on average it's around about 8 hours a week. Actually, it might be slightly less than that. Actually, I should have updated that. Sorry, it's around about. I think we worked it out to be an average around about 6 hours a week of study over a 10-week trimester. So the course is 3 semesters, and it is January, May, and September. You can start at any time, and what will happen is when you start, you will then be on a particular set of basically a set road. So for September there's a certain unit, for May there's a certain unit, and for September and for January there is a certain unit. So what happens is whenever you start the course, you will then join that particular unit, and you will continue on until you've got those 3 units under your belt. So the assessment techniques, as we said before, is evaluated entirely based on coursework, although that's how that coursework is actually assessed is something that is going to change. I haven't been furnished with all the details, but I do know that when I was speaking to Andy back in May, that the course will allow every student to have 3 different types of assessment if they so wish. But one of those assessment has to be 4,000 words. Okay, so the assignment aspect with a 4,000 word assignment, one of those will definitely be that, and the other 2 can be something else. So the university is trying to expand the way that it teaches, and obviously with ChatGPT and all the different writing tools that are coming out, it is really important that the university gets a hold of the way that it does assess. And it really is important that it's not just written assessment each time, and it's something that they've wanted to do. But I think that the ChatGPT and all the tools that have come out, it's kind of catalyzed that move to something different, which I think is really important. I think it's something that, if you're asking people, especially with the 21st century teaching techniques, which is one of the units you can select, if you're encouraging people to be innovative and to have different styles of assessment, then it is only right that you do the same with your university assessment techniques. So that's something that they've brought in for this September, and I think that's something that's really, really important and really exciting as well. Material access, so you can access the materials via the Udall portal at any time. These tools allow you to access the course materials, previous lectures, and discussion boards. But what I will say is that discussion boards are useful and they're nice, but I would say that the WeChat groups, and it's something that Said will probably touch upon later on when we're speaking, is that the WeChat groups that we've created, I think, are really basically gold mines. Anything that you need, anything that you're stuck on, anything you're having trouble with, ask in that group, and I guarantee you somebody will have the answer within within less than 5 minutes. Normally it's pretty impressive. And you can also look at previous comments, and you can search the group, and there's lots of materials there. We try to get as many materials together as possible from that group, and also from our side as well, from students that have done the course in the past. But obviously it's not exhaustive what we can do, but we try to get as much information out there as possible. So then a lot of these tools are really important. Obviously, if you do miss the lectures, and I would say that the majority, Said can speak on behalf of the students, but I do sort of gauge that a lot of the students will not watch the lectures live, but they will actually look at the recordings afterwards. So you can access those at any time. I would say that just make sure you get yourself a good VPN, because as you know, especially if you're in China, it's not an issue anywhere else. Sometimes, you know, some plugins or some aspects of UDOL which are Google based or Microsoft based will get blocked intermittently by the Chinese government. Then obviously they're not blocking the Derby UDOL website. It's just there are often there are when they do block something, it will also block something else as an unintended consequence. All right, so make sure you have a decent VPN before you start the course, which I'm sure you all do anyway.